Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean.
And I'm Missy.
And I'm Longlegs. We have a special guest today. It's Mr. Longlegs. How did your legs get so long, Mr. Longlegs? Hail Satan! T-Rex forever! If you haven't guessed, we're going to talk about T-Rex and Satan and Longlegs. So uh, this is Thursday night. I saw the first showing in Clarksville.
I saw the person here.
Talk to me about Longlegs.
Okay.
We're gonna stay spoiler free, just kind of review reaction. So listeners, we won't spoil anything.
Okay. I went in knowing very little about it because I've been waiting for it, and then I try to avoid the trailers because, as we know, trailers often ruin movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really, I really liked it. I think it's genuinely creepy. Like it uses sound amazingly. I thought it was dark and weird, and it didn't go where I was expecting it to. And I thought Micah Monroe put in a very good performance, and Nicolas Cage played probably the weirdest, one of the weirdest roles he's done.
And that's fucking saying something.
Yeah, yeah, one of the strangest roles I've ever seen him in. But I love Nick Cage and weird movies, especially weird horror movies. I think it's solid. It was not what I was expecting, but in this case, I was very able to take the ride and I enjoyed it. I found it to be pretty immersive, especially with the way they were using sound. I wasn't at like the Dolby Theater or anything, but there were points where the sound was those sounds were vibrating through the theater,
Yeah, I know. I
and
think I know
that
some of the
was
points you're talking about too.
hmm so. And we were just talking the other day about Maxine, and it's kind of like the things I didn't like about Maxine. That this is like Maxine's natural opposite almost.
That's interesting.
I mean, that's the way. Not not that they're the same story, but there are
No, there.
similarities,
I get it. I get it.
and it's kind of the things that disappointed me about Maxine, and kind of what the the sort of serial killer thriller investigation stories that I already like. This was kind of in line with that. I mean, I I like that they take it in kind of a weird direction. I'm guessing that that particular, without giving any spoilers, I'm guessing that's the thing that irritated you.
So I don't know how I feel about this movie. I know that the third act I was not super with.
Okay.
I think Oz Perkins. I thought this after Gretel and Hansel and Black Coat's Daughter is a movie I watched like three or four times, and
Oh, it's that guy.
I
Okay.
just I want to like Black Coat's Daughter, but I can't judge it. I don't even know how I feel about the actual movie because it cheats,
Mm-hmm.
and that bothers me so much. But and again, I've watched it like at least three times, and I just don't know how I feel about it because I can't get past
Okay.
that, right? Gretel and Hansel I
Yeah.
saw in the theater opening night, and I just it like it went in my eyes and out my ears, and I have no memory of it whatsoever, other than I was completely like, and I don't think he's a bad filmmaker. I just that was I like literally sat and thought about it and was like, I think maybe it's possible sometimes where somebody's just on their style or whatever is on a wavelength that just for whatever reason runs slightly,
Mm-hmm.
against the one that you are on. And I try to really make an effort to just judge it for what it is. And
Same,
and
but sometimes you can't. I mean, that's what happened to me. I mean, that's kind of exactly how I felt about Maxine and how I feel about Ty West.
I wouldn't say that I don't like. I think this is a good movie, maybe a great movie. It just, I don't know that I
Right.
liked it. Like, I thought Nick Cage's performance was fucking astounding. Like,
Mhm.
I'm looking at him going, how the fuck is that Nick Cage?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known it was him except that I knew it was him already.
There's an article, so there's in Fangoria, the new issue of Fangoria, there's a whole like multi-page discussion where Nick Cage is talking to Osgood Perkins, right? It's like Cage is basically interviewing Perkins. And Osgood Perkins, they're talking about how Nick Cage, for Dracula, he modeled his Dracula in Renfield after his father. And I know he also, I remember reading, he also modeled Color Out of Space, some of the characters, like mannerisms and whatnot on his father. And he said for this, he modeled it on his mother. And Osgood Perkins says, he says, we were coloring Longlegs in LA, and this lady came in to bring us lunch, and I pointed to you on the screen and said, who is that? We watched 3 sentences of yours, and she said, I don't know, Meryl Streep?
Oh, that explains. I mean, because
She
that was
thought he
one
was
thing I was
Meryl Streep.
wondering through the whole movie why he looked like an old lady,
Oh, so
or
fucking weird, man.
enough that you're kind of like, is is that Nicolas Cage? Is he supposed to be like trans, or is he just weird?
He's just
Because
weird.
he
I mean,
looks like a
God, he's
middle-aged
so weird.
lady.
But I liked all the performances. I thought Micah Monroe was great. Blair Underwood was great. Um, Alicia Witt, I did another one. I had literally no idea I was looking at Alicia Witt the whole movie. Um, I loved the lack of score when
Mhm.
appropriate and just
But the
kind of
sound,
ambient noises.
yeah, I like those ambient noises a lot.
Yeah. And all the sets were great. Like her house, Micah Monroe, her house. I was like, who the fuck has a house that looks like she walks in? I'm like, what's that light? Who has this like trapezoid light like hanging from their ceiling in 1993 or whenever this takes place? Um, but I mean, I would definitely say fucking go see it because I think this movie is going to be for a lot of people, it's going to be a banger. Like, I think they're going to fucking love it.
Right,
And
that's how I feel about it. Like, it will make my top five.
okay.
Like, with where I'm at as I've been building it. It it will make my top five, if not the top movie. Like,
Wow.
I think it's a banger, and it
Okay.
I didn't find it boring. I was in immediately. Um, and I don't want to say the thing that really, there is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about it super creeps me out, and I do not want to spoil it. But it's another one of those movies. It's not the movie you think you're going in to see, but in this case, I liked what I got.
It, it it definitely, and well, one of the things I really appreciate about this movie and Oz Perkins in general, this is like so our Maxine review, which we recorded yesterday, won't drop until a couple days after this. So to the people in the audience, I'll be referencing something that's not available yet, but a couple days. But I think he's one of these, like the marketing was just perfect because
Mm.
again, my rant about trailers, I'll keep it short, but I had to sit through the fucking AI trailer again. And I just think, I don't know what the movie's going to be like, but it's one of the worst trailers I've ever seen because why would I go see this movie? You've literally shown me every fucking thing there is to know about this movie.
I
Um,
still want to see it. AI scares me.
well, what did I say? I call it AI, but it's afraid. That's what it's afraid
Afraid,
with.
but the A and the I are like accentuated. So
Yeah. Or like another one, which it's funny. I noticed, like, I think Phil Noble in Fangoria recently had an article where he was like, basically, look. I know See No Evil is a remake of a movie a lot of people have already seen, but you shouldn't judge it on that. But I judge it on the trailer, and I still cannot believe that trailer, which I've now seen every time I've gone to the movies for months, shows you one of the biggest what the fuck moments from the original that
Yeah,
this is a remake of, right? And I just can't believe like it's lit and it's at the end of the trailer. It's almost like, oh, and like
right. And
you've
like they
shown
already
me the whole
told you.
fucking movie.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so this I avoided everything, but the
Right.
couple, the teasers weren't even teasers. They were like weird puzzle things.
Hmm.
And then the one full trailer I saw, I thought was brilliant because I'm like, they even danced around showing Cage, right? Like there's
Right.
that scene at the convenience store where he puts his like arms up and his
Mhm.
hands over his eyes, and they just cut to that in that trailer, and it was like, oh, they're even teasing this. So I feel like everything about it has been a class act, and I think I had my expectations were probably too high, honestly.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel about the opening? I really liked the opening. It felt very like kind of 70s gritty.
I liked
And
it. Yeah.
and then you were getting those, did you see the weird flashes?
Yo, yeah, the
Yeah.
pictures during the
Yeah.
title sequence. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And just the red. I love that red. It's like fucking
Me too.
satanic panic, like fucking crimson blood altar red. I love that color, especially when on like the entirety of a screen.
Hmm.
Uh I really liked the beginning. I liked a lot of the movie. I started getting antsy when I realized what was coming, and
Okay.
I liked things about the way they handled the end, but I just was I don't know. I just don't know how I feel. I'm going to see it again.
Okay.
I'm totally going to see
Yeah,
it
I mean,
again.
I'm I thought that it was one that you were really gonna like. Um,
So did
I
I.
I did not realize it was a thing. I haven't seen Hansel and Gretel and really don't intend to. I also hate the Black Coat's daughter, and it's
Well,
because of the same. It's the
the
same
same.
cheaty thing that you also hate. Um, but this, I did not have any disconnect with it. I jumped right in. Like,
You should maybe try Gretel and Hansel because maybe and I mean I would even be up. I mean I would even be up to like he's one of these guys now. I like the same with Black Coat's daughter where I'll be like, is it me? So I'll reassess. I'll go back.
mhm.
Um
Well, I don't think I can get past that thing that you hate. It pisses me off
in
too.
Black Coat's
Oh,
daughter, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep, yeah.
But did you notice
It fucking cheats.
I'm I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last line of dialogue in this movie is also the last line of dialogue in Black Coat's daughter. I'm not positive.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a,
we'll talk about it like quote unquote off camera, but I was like, oh, I
right.
almost felt like it was like a callback in a way. Um, and in fact, there might have even been another image that carried over. And he's into all
Okay.
the shit that I'm into. Like, there's just shit in this movie where I'm like, it seems like a no-brainer, but it just doesn't quite gel with me. So I don't know. I mean, I'll see it again, and I'll see. Maybe, I mean, I had kind of a bad day. I had high expectations. Who knows?
I get it. I mean, I feel like we just had mirror experiences with opposite movies because that's exactly how I felt about Maxine, and it took me about 3 days to process that movie.
Right. Well, I don't know that Maxine's going to end up in my top five. I mean, that remains to be seen. So it is kind of a mirrored experience, but I wouldn't. I'm like not ready to run out and declare it, anywhere near my favorite movie. I'm pretty sure like I'm starting to see what's shaping up to be, like the
Hmm.
so far the best of the year. But and Maxine will probably be in the top 10, but I don't know that it would be in the top five. But it depends on the rest of the year, I guess.
Okay.
It's certainly not going to be Afraid. Although who knows? Who knows? Um Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's Blackcoat's daughter.
Long legs.
Yeah, so that's Longlegs. And again, I mean, so listeners, you're hearing two completely opposite reactions. I mean, I didn't hate it by any stretch, but again, it just didn't gel with me. But I would definitely still say go see it. Support it in the theater. And I think a lot of people are going to be like, yo, this dude's a fool. Like, this is, fucking awesome. And I hope so. Like, I hope this does really good. Like, anybody that wears a Mr. Bungle shirt in a fucking like red carpet photo with Nick Cage, and I'm talking about Osgood Perkins, I want him to
Okay.
have a long and storied career. So
Well, I don't know about your theater, but mine was almost full. Like this is the fullest movie theater I've been in since COVID.
wow.
I hope it does well. I mean, my theater also, when I reserved my ticket a few weeks ago, um, they had a 7 o'clock and like a 9 o'clock. And
Yeah,
now
we had
today they added there was like they added a whole bunch of times.
it's it's going really wide.
And good for them because it doesn't feel like a big budget, like the kind of movie that would go super wide. It feels weird and independent.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's got a small cast. It's I'm sure it cost, but like I think the cost was making things look 90s crappy. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that's really like ornate or like lush or lavish in this movie. It's all very like all the residences are very it's just it hit the 90s on the head. But so there's money on the screen, but like not a lot. So I
Okay.
f- I feel like yeah, like I agree. It doesn't look well. I'm wondering if this is getting such a big push because of movies like Skinamarink, which is like there's an audience for stuff that's off center, weird, but also like low budget. It's just I don't know. It's so weird. It's become like almost if like Hollywood won't make movies unless they cost $30 billion. But then at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of distribution channel. I feel like there's a lot of distribution channels open for movies that don't cost like even more than $3 million. I don't know what the budget on this was. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk. I don't want it to sound like I'm talking poorly about it because I'm not.
Well, I don't know if it was the marketing campaign or if the I mean it has a good cast. Nick Cage and Micah Monroe. I really like her. She like I'm lukewarm on It Follows, but everything else I've seen her in, she just knocks it out of the park. I loved God is a Bullet, and then I thought she was fucking fantastic in this too.
Yeah, she's good, and it's distributed by Neon. They're like whenever I see Neon, it's like seeing Shutter, IFC Midnight,
Mm.
I don't know if Magnet's still around, but they were always one.
Mm-hmm.
RLJE, like there's just certain companies where I'm like, okay, cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is my neighborhood. I'm comfortable here.
Right.
So, okay, but that's Long Legs. And our advice from somebody that's kind of lukewarm on it, wanting to like it more, hoping a second viewing will do that, and someone who says like could potentially be favorite movie of the year, just go see it. And
Yeah.
after you see it, drop us a line and say, "Hey, fuck you," or you know what always just works is, "Hey, I see it."
A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities. as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20 soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive:
The world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
the cure: murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadow Play Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available